Chris Farr for you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. To speak to Clause 4 of this bill, Mr. Chair, as a number of speakers before me have noted, that this is the major part of this New Zealand Public Health and Disability Amendment Bill, and as some people would say, that's where the money is at, or in this case is not. So, Mr. Chair, it has been made, the point has been made many times around the need for this bill to have gone before a select committee process. We know that hours into this debate that it is not, and that is unfortunate because one of the things that that the public of New Zealand could have given more scrutiny to was the rates at which family members who care for those who are disabled in their family could have been looked at closer, because there seems to be an inequity in one of the clauses, in parts in Clause 4, and the Honourable Ruth Dyson has put forward a supplementary order paper to that effect, and it talks about Section 70D 3C, and I think my colleague Carol Beaumont has already spoken about this, but essentially what this part of the bill says at the moment is that if you're a family member caring for someone who is disabled in your family, that not only is the rate that you'll get paid going to be the minimum wage, but you can actually, through this section, get paid less than the minimum wage. That's our understanding of the bill. That is something that should have been given some closer scrutiny if this bill were to be put before a select committee. So, Mr. Chair, the Honourable Ruth Dyson has studiously put in this SOP which would amend 70D3C to read any lower rates set may not be lower than the minimum adult rate of wages payable to workers set under Section 4 of the Minimum Wage Act 1983, and that is to follow the words in that 70D3C, persons who are not family members. Mr. Chair, that would make it fairer, we believe, on this side of the House to those who have taken on the real commitment of looking after those people in their family who are disabled, and as my colleague Lewis Wall said, fair's fair to the Minister, and who have been recognised in this bill to get some form of payment because previously they have not. But we don't believe that has been done in a fair way. Mr. Chair, the Honourable Annette King said in her first contribution to Clause 4 that we won't see the operational details around the changes that are made in this bill to September. And that is of great concern to us in the House and on this side of the House, given when we're looking at when this bill will come into effect is October the 1st. That is when the government wants this to start being effective. So we'll find out how this works maybe late September, and then the next month things will get moving. So that is another concern that we have on this side of the House, that we won't find out how these changes are going to operationally work, how things are going to be done, and then a matter of weeks later it will be law and in place. And that should have been looked at with closer scrutiny at the Select Committee stage, Mr. Chair. And at that Select Committee, I'm sure Dr Paul Hutchison, a man who on this side of the House is very well respected, someone who just definitely during my time on the Health Select Committee looked at a whole raft of issues related to health in a thorough manner and in a fair manner, would look at this, and I think he would be concerned that there is a very short period of time between when we find out how this piece of legislation works and when it comes into effect. Going back to Mr. Chair, 73DC, because the regulatory impact statement has been referred to many times during this debate, and I wanted to have a sift through the regulatory impact statement just to see what kind of impact 70D3C as it stands now would have in terms of operational details. But again, Mr. Chair, it's not pretty. We don't know what it would mean, because it seems that options that are significant. Oh, well, I'd love to. But maybe the Minister and the Chair could tell us what some of the significant legal issues and risks arising from their preferred response that they have in this bill, especially around Section 70D3C are, because, Mr Chair, we have no idea. Mr Chair.
Mr Chair. I move that the question be now put.
The question is that the question be now put. Those of that opinion will say aye.
Point of order.
Point of order. Elise Galloway.
Mr Chairman, could you please explain to the House how it could possibly be in order to accept the closure motion at this point during Clause 4 of this bill, which is the substantive part of the bill, all of the substance of the bill